India is making its biggest ever presence at the World Economic Forum in Davos 2026 under the theme A Spirit of Dialogue. The summit has drawn record global participation and Team India is showcasing India's growth story with a powerful delegation. Senior union ministers are pitching India's strengths from AI and quantum technology to renewable energy, infrastructure, IT and welfare schemes with a 10,000 square foot India pavilion that features 10 states and over 100 CEOs present. India looks to send across a message of stability in an increasingly volatile world. Take a look.
Welcome to the promenade here in Davos. The promenade is essentially the high street in this village, and this is home to all the action. This is where companies as well as countries take up spaces to showcase their messaging. This is India Bharat, the home that is going to represent 10 states here. This is the largest representation that India has had of states in Davos so far. We are going to go inside and give you a look. This is still work in progress. It hasn't been completed just yet. Now, as I was pointing out, this time around we have 10 states being represented in Davos. The union ministers will be led by Ashwini Vaishnav. He is going to be here and you'll see him on CNBC TV 18 as we bring you a curtain raiser of the India AI Impact Summit that's coming up for you here in Davos exclusively on the 20th. We're going to go inside and try and give you a sense of what you can expect here in the Bharat House. This gives you a map of how everyone is situated. This is where you will see Indian government officials being situated for this week. Lots of images of the Prime Minister in this space, as you can see, and lots of messaging in terms of the themes that India is going to be showcasing here. This is the UP Center. You can see the Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath along with the Prime Minister and his images, and of course some of the global brands that are present in UP being showcased here in the UP Pavilion. Moving next now to Madhya Pradesh. Madhya Pradesh making its debut here in Davos, and as I pointed out, the Chief Minister is going to be here. So this is where Madhya Pradesh is going to be meeting with potential investors and pitching their story. These are some of the messages that the Indian government is trying to highlight here. The largest automobile producer in the world, number 4, 12 new cities to be built as smart cities, pharmaceuticals, renewable energy. Kerala is going to be housed here, and of course they're going to be pitching their story with the messaging India's state of excellence. That is the Kerala tagline for Davos 2026, India's state of excellence. That is what they're going with. And this is Maharashtra. They've been going with the same tagline, Magnetic Maharashtra, and of course Devendra Fadnavis will be here post the electoral victory in the municipal elections. Next up is Jharkhand. As I pointed out, Hemant Soren, the Chief Minister, is going to be here. This is the first time that Jharkhand is presenting its story here in Davos. And of course, they're talking about mining and minerals, EVs and automobiles, superfoods and food processing, energy and renewable energy transition, textile, forest and bioeconomy, and tourism. You do have Telangana, which has been part of the Davos story for a while. Telangana Rising, they're going to be talking about AI. They're also going to be presenting an AI agenda here in Davos, and of course talking about EVs, green energy as part of their pitch to investors. Gujarat is here. We've got the Deputy Chief Minister of Gujarat who's going to be joining us on CNBC TV 18 as well, Harsh Sanghvi, and this is where Gujarat is going to be telling its story. This is the event area. So this is going to be common for use by all states. This is going to be the event area where a lot of the meetings will take place. This is the F&B area. For those of you who have been familiar with our coverage in Davos, the India Pavilion has a long line of people waiting for hot food because hot food is in very short supply here in Davos. So this is where the F&B setup is going to be for the India Pavilion. Well, that's a quick glimpse of the India Pavilion. As I pointed out, the feeling increasingly over the years was that there was so much state representation spread across the promenade that people were getting confused about which India to visit. And so the idea starting last year was to bring everybody together and house them under one roof. And that is why the India Pavilion, it's a fairly large one, houses the state governments that are here in Davos together. It is a complex, fragmented world, and you see that message there from the Prime Minister. The hope is that as there continues to be this volatility, the state of flux globally, that India could perhaps emerge as a beneficiary, as a trusted partner, especially when we talk about the need for supply chain resilience. So, there's pretty much every global CEO here in Davos. There's tons of officials, both government officials from different parts of the world as well as industry leaders. And so the hope certainly is that they are going to be able to draw in more foreign direct investment into India, and which is why you probably see India in full force here in Davos.
We're taking you inside the India Pavilion right here on the Davos promenade on the sidelines of the World Economic Forum. Now, this is originally Hotel Europe, but for the next week, it's going to serve as the location for the India Pavilion. So not just the union government, but just like last year, this time as well, all states that have delegations from India are going to be on one floor. So it's going to be comparative federalism at its best, 9 states on the same floor. Let me take you inside to show you how that works out. So as I said, this is the Europe Hotel that has been turned into an India Pavilion. And like I said, it's one floor that will have 9 states. So, people are still setting up. The officials are not here yet. But as you can see, these are the states that are going to make it from India this year. I think it's one of the biggest delegations. Assam, Gujarat, Jharkhand, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Telangana, Uttar Pradesh government of Kerala. So let me take you right at the corner, and then I'll sort of show you each of the pavilions.
It would be fair to say Davos 2026 is a Trump Davos. For the very first time, the US has a USA house. Right behind me is the church in Davos. This has in fact been home to our colleagues at CNBC for many, many years. It's now been taken up by the US. And as it says, it's celebrating 250 years of freedom and innovation. The US house is where US officials are going to be homed for this week. This is, of course, being sponsored by US companies, the likes of McKinsey, Microsoft, Qualcomm, Stars and Stripes, and many others. Now, why is this important? Because President Trump is coming to Davos in person this year, and he's bringing with him what is said to be the largest US delegation to Davos ever. Senior Trump administration officials are expected to join President Trump here, the likes of Scott Bessent, Howard Lutnick, and many other officials, Jared Kushner, Steve Witkoff, are all expected to be here. This is going to be an interesting Davos because President Trump comes to Europe at a time when he's made no bones about the fact that he wants Greenland. He's not pulling back. In fact, if anything, he's doubling down on that ambition and his ambition to redraw the Western Hemisphere, so to speak. That's, of course, going to be one aspect of what gets discussed here in Davos. Let's see how European leaders react to that. So far, it's kind of been, yes, we support Greenland, we support Denmark, a little weak-kneed, if you ask me. Next up, Zelensky. He's going to be here as well. President Trump likely to meet with him. And of course, there's no breakthrough, no thaw there as far as the Russia-Ukraine peace talks or peace deals so far are concerned. Outside of that, as I was hearing a guest on Fox News say, President Trump comes to Davos, in her words, in his master of the universe mode, whatever that means. So what can we expect by way of headlines as President Trump amplifies his American first agenda, his America first agenda? We will wait to see. two important events that could perhaps coincide with President Trump's Davos appearance. One, Scott Bessent seemed to suggest that President Trump could announce the nominee for the Fed chief after Jerome Powell, either before or after Davos. So that's going to be an important one to watch out for. And next up, the US Supreme Court. We've been waiting for that ruling on tariffs. It has said that there is an opinion that is expected on the 20th. Will it be about tariffs? We don't know. We cannot preempt what the Supreme Court may or may not do. But that's the other expectation. Will it coincide with President Trump's Davos appearance? But as experts who've joined us on CNBC TV 18 have said and made it clear, irrespective of what the US Supreme Court does, tariffs are here to stay. And that's been the pitch that President Trump has been making. And of course, he is going to double down on the rhetoric of America being not just the largest economy in the world, but of course the most innovative economy in the world, and why it makes sense for everybody to invest in America. So this is going to be a Davos that is dominated by what President Trump says and what President Trump does. We will bring you all the action right here